Theresa Caputo makes assistant cry during job interview. Theresa Caputo has been known to move people to tears with her uncanny ability to connect with the departed. But during a recent job interview for a new assistant, Caputo left a hopeful candidate in tears, not out of nerves or intimidation, but due to an unexpected and deeply personal spiritual reading that unfolded right there in the room. This exclusive story dives into the emotional moment, the reactions, and what it reveals about Caputo's extraordinary gift and her commitment to authenticity in all aspects of her life. Theresa Caputo's bustling schedule between TV appearances, live shows, podcast recordings, and personal readings requires a dedicated team to help manage the chaos. Earlier this year, she posted an opening for a new assistant. "I was looking for someone who's organized, passionate, and able to handle my busy lifestyle," Caputo says. "But more importantly, I needed someone who understood what I do and believed in it." Hundreds of applications poured in, and after a rigorous screening process, a handful of candidates were invited for an in-person interview at Caputo's Long Island home. Among them was Emily Thompson, a 26-year-old graduate from Brooklyn with a background in event management and a personal connection to Caputo's work. Caputo's home, she was greeted warmly by the medium, who immediately put her at ease. "She was so welcoming," Emily recalls. "I've watched Long Island Medium for years, so meeting Theresa in person felt surreal. But she was just so down-to-earth." The interview began with the usual questions about Emily's experience, skills, and career goals. "She asked me about my background, how I handle stress, and if I was okay with travel," Emily says. "It was a pretty standard interview at first. But as the conversation progressed, Caputo began to feel a familiar energy in the room." Caputo paused, her expression changing. "I don't usually do this during interviews," she said, "but I'm feeling a very strong presence right now. Would you mind if I shared something with you?" Emily, though startled, nodded. "Of course," she said. Caputo closed her eyes briefly before speaking. "There's a woman here, an older woman, maybe a grandmother figure. She's showing me a necklace. Does that mean anything to you?" Emily's breath hitched. "Yes," she whispered. "My grandmother passed away 2 years ago. She gave me her locket before she died." Caputo continued, her voice steady but filled with compassion. "She's showing me the locket and saying it's your way of keeping her close. She wants you to know she's still with you, especially during big moments like this." Tears welled up in Emily's eyes as she clutched the locket she wore around her neck. "I've been wearing it every day since she passed," she said. "It's like my way of having her with me." Caputo smiled softly. "She's saying you're exactly where you're supposed to be. She's proud of you and the woman you've become. She wants you to stop doubting yourself." By this point, Emily was openly crying. "I've been struggling so much with self-doubt lately," she admitted. "Hearing this means everything to me." Caputo offered Emily a tissue and reassured her. "I didn't mean to catch you off guard," she said. "But when the spirits come through, I have to honor their message." Emily, though emotional, felt a profound sense of peace. "I wasn't expecting a reading, but it felt like my grandmother brought me here for a reason," she said. The interview wrapped up shortly after, with Caputo thanking Emily for her honesty and vulnerability. In an interview following the incident, Caputo explained why the moment was significant. "For me, being a medium isn't something I can turn on and off," she said. "It's a part of who I am. Even during something as ordinary as a job interview, the spirits can make themselves known." Caputo also emphasized the importance of finding an assistant who aligns with her mission. "My work is deeply personal and it affects people on a soul level," she said. "I need someone who understands that and can be part of this journey with me." Though she didn't initially expect her job interview to turn into a spiritual encounter, Emily says the experience left a lasting impact. "Even if I don't get the job, I feel like I got something even more valuable," she said. "Theresa gave me a gift I didn't know I needed. It's made me feel closer to my grandmother and more confident in myself." This moment highlights the unique nature of Caputo's gift and the profound effect it can have, even in unexpected situations. For those who experience her readings, whether planned or impromptu, the messages often bring comfort, clarity, and a renewed sense of connection. "It's not about me," Caputo insists. "It's about the love and healing that the spirits want to share. I'm just the messenger." When asked whether Emily was offered the position, Caputo remains coy. "Let's just say she made a lasting impression," she said with a wink. Whether or not Emily joins her team, one thing is clear: the encounter will be a moment both women remember forever. However, Theresa Caputo, known to the world as the Long Island medium, has provided messages of hope, closure, and connection to those grieving the loss of their loved ones. Her readings have touched thousands, but for some, her gift has been truly life-changing. In this exclusive feature, two individuals open up about their deeply personal experiences with Caputo and how her readings help them find healing, clarity, and peace after devastating losses. Karen Davis was a mother of two, living a quiet life in upstate New York when tragedy struck. Her youngest son, Jake, just 17 years old, was killed in a car accident on his way to a football game. The loss was sudden, shattering, and left Karen consumed by guilt and despair. For months, I couldn't function, Karen shares. I kept asking myself, why did I let him drive that night? Why didn't I stop him? I felt like it was my fault. Karen first saw Theresa Caputo on her television show Long Island Medium. Though skeptical of mediums, she decided to attend one of Caputo's live events after seeing how her readings brought comfort to others. At the live event in Albany, New York, Karen sat quietly in the back, unsure if she would be noticed. But halfway through the show, Caputo paused and turned toward Karen's section. "There's a young man here who passed in an accident," Caputo said. "He's saying, 'Mom, stop blaming yourself. It wasn't your fault.'" Karen's heart raced as Caputo described details that only she could know. She mentioned his favorite song, the number 23, which was his football jersey, and even the snacks he always kept in his car. "I knew it was Jake," Karen says, her voice trembling. Caputo delivered Jake's message with compassion. "He's telling me he felt nothing but love in his last moments. He wants you to know he's okay and that you need to let go of the guilt." For Karen, the reading was a turning point. "I can't even put into words how much that meant to me," she says. "It was like a weight had been lifted. I finally started to forgive myself and began to heal." Since her reading, Karen has found ways to honor Jake's memory, starting a scholarship fund in his name for local high school athletes. "Theresa gave me something I didn't think was possible, peace," Karen says. "I'll always miss Jake, but now I feel like he's with me in a different way. I'll forever be grateful to her for that." James Rodriguez, a 45-year-old firefighter from Miami, Florida, had always considered himself a man of science and logic. When his wife, Maria, passed away from cancer, James struggled not only with grief but with feelings of hopelessness and anger. "I couldn't understand why someone so kind and loving was taken so soon," James explains. "I was lost without her. I didn't believe in an afterlife or anything like that, but I wanted some kind of sign that she was okay." A friend convinced James to book a private reading with Caputo, and despite his skepticism, he decided to give it a chance. James describes the day of his reading as emotionally overwhelming. "I walked in thinking, there's no way this is real," he says. But within minutes, Theresa said things no one could have known. Caputo began the session by describing Maria's personality. She said Maria was a strong, independent woman who loved to laugh, and that was spot on, James recalls. Then, Caputo mentioned something that left James in awe. She said Maria was showing her a small notebook with my handwriting in it. "I had written Maria letters every day during her chemo treatments and kept them in a journal after she passed. No one knew about that." Through Caputo, Maria delivered a message that changed everything for James. She said, "Stop beating yourself up for what you couldn't control. You gave me all the love and care I needed. I don't want you to stop living your life." After the reading, James began to slowly rebuild his life. Inspired by Maria's message, he started volunteering at a local cancer support center, helping families navigate their journeys. "Theresa helped me realize that Maria would want me to move forward and find joy again," James says. "Her words gave me permission to start living, not just surviving." Today, James feels a renewed sense of purpose. "I don't know if I'll ever fully understand how Theresa does what she does," he admits. "But I know she gave me something priceless, hope." For both Karen and James, Theresa Caputo's readings were more than just uncanny demonstrations of her gift. They were lifelines in moments of despair. Caputo, reflecting on her work, explains, "It's never about convincing people of what I do. It's about delivering messages that bring comfort and healing. The spirit world wants us to know we're never truly alone." While stories like Karen's and James's underscore the impact of Caputo's readings, her work remains a subject of debate. Skeptics argue that mediums rely on psychological tricks, while believers point to the profound personal details that defy explanation. Caputo addresses the controversy with grace. "I understand the skepticism," she says. "I tell people you don't have to believe in me. Just believe in the love that connects us all." For Karen, James, and countless others, Theresa Caputo has provided more than just answers. She has given them the tools to heal and move forward. Theresa reminded me that love doesn't end when someone passes, Karen says. It stays with us always. James echoes this sentiment. She helped me see that even in loss, there's still a way to find hope and purpose. As Caputo continues to share her gift with the world, her message remains clear. Love transcends all boundaries, even death. And for those who have experienced her readings, that truth is nothing short of life-changing. Hello lovely viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Sabrina, hope your day is so well. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel.